Angela Callis, you always be one of the first ones in here. Welcome to G Butterfly TV. Please let me know where you're watching me from as soon as you come in. Do the damn thing, so you need to let other people know, and they will. Minneapolis, first time. Well, Robert, thanks for coming over. Appreciate you coming over. This is your first time. Hopefully, it won't be your last. And you'll see that this is just a real easygoing chat. We just talk about a few topics, and I'll let you go. We don't be on here long. The police are killing us. Yes, they are, and us is killing us too. Let's not leave that out. Just host, I try to be. You know, I'm quite sure you can go to some people chat, they don't even speak to you. They just start talking about whatever they talking about. I just feel like when you come over to my chat, how you doing, darling, from Zachary? You know what? I was just in Zachary this past summer. My daughter-in-law, her family is from there. Zachary is a small town, but y'all had some good hospitality. I think of this as if you would like coming over to my house. I'm going to be kind and hospitable and nice to you and make you feel welcome and make you want to come back. So to me, you coming into my chat is almost like coming to my house. So, hey, Blended Impressions. Glad you made it in here. Did you enjoy Zachary? Yes, we had a good time in Zachary. We were over, well, I don't want to give all that information. We had a good time in Zachary. We were there 4th of July. Yeah. For Blended Impressions, Crystal been holding it down as the moderator over here. Crystal was holding it down on the moderator. You know, when it was time to do the, Crystal was on it. Y'all know I'm already ready. I got some topics we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to get right to it. We're going to keep it moving because it's Monday. I know everybody probably had a busy weekend. Probably was dragging this morning going to work. Thank you, Don Him. Okay, I'm trying to read. I know everybody probably was dragging going to work today after having a really good weekend. So now it's time to just chill out the rest of the evening. Now, if this is your first time over here at G Butterfly TV, let me tell you how we handle things. I come up with topics. I come on, I greet everybody, I go over the topics. Once we're finished talking about the topics, we out. But when I give out the topic, I encourage everybody in the chat to talk about what the topics are. I'm going to try to read some of your responses. And usually when that happens, that kind of segues into another topic. Then we get back on topic and I ask everybody, hey, first time, I'm glad you're here. I try to ask everybody. We have a format. So we try to stick to that format so I can be done in about 60, 90 minutes. Please don't try to throw the chat off with something all random. Let's just say we talking about dogs and then you start talking about the White House. It throws the chat off. And then I see that and then I have to think about, okay, what are they really talking about? And it just breaks up our flow. So by all means, if you want to talk in the chat, please do about the topics because other people will talk with you in the chat. So will I, and we'll keep it moving. And this, I gotta let you know this. We will block you so fast over here. Just so I can let everybody know. We block real quick over here. We are laid back. We have a good time. We laugh, but we don't do no foolishness. We don't do all of them sideways comments. We don't do none of that. We just want everybody to come over and have a good time. That's it. That's it. When you come to G Butterfly TV, I want you to feel like you're talking to your neighbor next door. You're talking to your nosy neighbor down the street who knew everybody's business. Or you're talking to the guy at the gas station when you're going to buy your one can of beer because you're getting ready to, because you're tired from work. You know, or are you into Spanish guys? This might not be the chat you're looking for. Something daddy. This may not be the chat you're looking for. How did we get on that topic before I even gave the topics? You definitely have a welcoming and warm demeanor. Thank you. Can't wait to hear the topics. Okay, well, thank you. This is going so fast. That's the question. Don't block him. I'm not. He not getting blocked. He haven't did anything wrong. That question was left field, and I could tell he hadn't been here before. I can already tell. Even on my topic list, but when I saw it on the news, I said, you know what? I have fans of hers in my chat, so I'm going to go ahead. Need an administrator to kick disrespectful people. No, he wasn't disrespectful. He wasn't disrespectful at all. He just asked a question that I'm not going to answer. But he wasn't disrespectful. He don't need to be muted and he don't need to be blocked. He's good. How many of you, I know I already got two, how many of you are true Beyonce fans? If you're a true Beyonce fan, just put a one in the chat and I know you're a real fan. I like Beyonce. I'm not a beehiver, but I like Beyonce. Somebody say, nope, they're not a Beyonce fan. What is Oh, okay. I got your Blended Impressions. I had to think about it. I almost said, what is that? But then I got you. No, but we love Beyonce. Okay, no, but no hate towards her. Okay, that's fair. Homegirl, H Town. Hey, when I say, oh, you from H Town? When I see people from H Town, I say, hey, neighbor. And love the hair. Thank you so much. I took my braids out, but I'm getting ready to go back. I'm a fan, but not a verified fan. Nah, I'm not one of those either. We all know I've talked about her 2 days last week that she's going on tour. She added an extra tour date to Galveston, Lord Jesus. That's where her mama from. She added an extra tour date for Houston, Dallas, and maybe 5 other cities. She added an extra date. The reason I said that, Beyonce just made history at the Grammys as she just made history for winning more Grammys than any other artist in the history of the Grammys. She has 32, and I think that's awesome. I think the young lady should be applauded for her contribution to the music industry, and I think she's a phenomenal entertainer. And actually, I saw somebody saying online, actually, it was on TikTok or maybe Instagram, that she should be boycotted, that everybody should go out and boycott her concerts. I don't understand why people are calling for her concert to be boycotted. He said because some of her tickets were $1,800. Now, do I think that's a lot? Yes, I do think that's a lot for a concert ticket. However, if she has fans out there that's willing to pay the $1,800, why would you encourage them to boycott her? So you're saying take money out of her mouth. I don't care how rich she is. You're still trying to take money from her. Trying to take money from the people that's going to be doing the backup, the costuming, the stage managers, the lighting people, the this, the that. That's an entire production that's putting money in the pockets of a lot of families. So why, as a black man, and that's what caught my attention, as a black man, would you want to take money out of the pocket of a black woman that's employing so many people? Again, I agree her tickets are high. And me personally, I wouldn't pay 1,800, but that's just me. But I know there's a lot of people who are going to pay that and then some to go support her, and I think that's awesome. But I couldn't believe that a black man would want to take money out of a black woman's pocket that is hiring so many people. I don't care the nationality of the people she's hiring. She is hiring so many people and taking them around the world, giving them experiences they probably would never have or probably have never had, and putting money in the pockets of those families. So I don't understand why he would say that. What do y'all think about that? I paid $200 for J. Cole, thought he was worth it. Okay, she skipped over my message. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Let me see. Let me see. Again, okay, let me tell you this before we get started. It's never my intention to skip over anyone's comment. If I'm talking, I'm paying attention, talking into the camera. The chat is steady rolling. There's no way I will be able to catch every single comment, but I will make an attempt. But since you brought it out, it say, Giovanni, how do you know she worship? Oh, okay. Conspiracy theory via J. Okay. Somebody say they don't support her. Somebody say they'll pay 25. Okay. She doesn't need no money. Now, you know what? How can somebody say that? She don't need the money. Let's see. Carry on. I think no. Kavion, Giovan. I think that's how it's pronounced. Why do you say she doesn't need the money, but she worships darkness? How do you know that? If you haven't been in her presence while she was supposedly worshiping darkness, how do you know that to be true? See, people will go and just throw out things without any basis for saying it. And I'm not, like I say, I like her music. I'm not a beehiver. I'm not trying to just take up for her. I'm just using common sense. Why do people be so quick to throw out things about somebody else when you have no proof of that? No proof of that whatsoever. Now, you know what? Let's take Beyonce out of it because she's just big mega superstar, and let's just talk about the everyday person that may be working in a cubicle next to you. And you see how you're throwing out. She worships the darkness. Da 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 da. You probably have never been in her presence in your life. Probably never will. But let's just say the person sitting next to you at work. People who throw out things like this about people they don't know, they probably throw out about people that they do know and still don't have any basis for those comments. So why would you do that? Let me go up let me scroll up to see if I can find how do you know she worship? Yeah, thank you. Who was that? Mercedes for saying that. Let me see. Love Beyonce, but she is not my top 5 lady singer. Oh, she's not my top 5 either, but I like her music. I'm bringing money to the city she's visiting. Yes, she bringing money to the city. That's bill money. I would not pay that much to see anyone sing. Okay, that's fair. Always need money. She has bills like everyone else. Yes, she does. I see that a lot. I don't get into that. Bill Gates don't have enough money. He's still trying to make it. I think she does good for all races at the same. She spreads evil spirits through music and videos. Okay, you're entitled to that opinion. But tell me, how does she spread evil spirits through her music? And this is, I mean, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just asking, how do you know she spreads evil spirits? I'm interested to know why you say that. And, and it's funny how people will say, oh, she don't need the money. How do you think she maintains her lifestyle for her and her family? Whatever money you make, and I don't know you, I'm just going because you made the comment. Whatever money you make, somebody might say, you don't need that. So see, when you flip it around and you make it more personal, then you think about, well, damn, that might be right. Because I know I need all my coins. I go to work every day and I need all my money. And people might say, oh, she don't need that much money. She don't need to do. How you know? Anyone that have made it, they say they sacrificed and worship unjust slander without merit. That's true. Me too. Joycelyn, you need all your coins? I need all mine. Hey, she say me too. So I think she's saying she need all her coins too. I think everybody on here need it. So why would we just assume somebody that's a multimillionaire? Yes, we know she's a multimillionaire, but why would you say she don't need it? Okay, just think about your bills. Let's just say your bills total $4,500 a month. Can you imagine what her bills are per month? So why would you say she don't need her money? She has people that work for her that she has to pay. Exactly. She is an entire business. She is a business. She has to pay people to do everything for her. And you see how I was just making a point about her Grammys and asked one question. You see how we kind of just went on and on. A lot of people fell out the chat, and that's okay. We're going to keep talking. You know me. If I have 17 or 17,000, we're going to keep talking. No way Beyonce is nice. I don't know her, but from what I see in the media, she is a nice person. She appears to be a very sweet lady. But like anybody else, everybody has their limits. Everybody has their days. Somebody said in here, I seem to be very warm and welcoming, and I am. But there's some days when people just piss me off because I'm human. You can't put a price tag on someone else's talent and labor. And you can't. Because you know what it boils down to? Either you're going to pay for it or you're not. Either you're going to pay to go see her perform or you're not. But why should somebody get on a campaign to tell people, boycott, boycott, boycott? Why? What if somebody come boycott you at your job and now you can't go to work and then now you don't have money and you sitting looking stupid? See, when you make it more personal, it's a little different. But people tend to pick these superstars because they know, oh, that's an easy target. I can just do it to them and it's okay. It's not okay. This black man is telling people to take money out this black woman's pocket. I don't understand that. And out the pockets of many other people that's attached to her. Okay, let's just take her for an example. He said cancel a concert. Now, if the concert is not in these venues that they didn't pay it all the way around the world, and they don't feel that particular day, people who work at that venue won't get paid for that day because there's nothing for them to do. So when you think about it and say, cancel her concert, boycott her, those are long-reaching consequences for other people who have no connection to Beyonce. You see what I'm saying? So people should be mindful when they just hollering out stuff like that, boycott, boycott. And know they don't want nobody to come boycott at their job and they can't work. It's a bonus when I saw that that the guy was telling people to boycott her, and to just say congratulations to her for being a Grammy nominated artist that has won more Grammys than anybody else in the history of the Grammys. I think that's absolutely awesome. Awesome. She won a few last night. Did she break Michael Jackson's record? Oh yeah, probably broke his record a long time ago, because you don't even hear them mention him when it comes to the amount of Grammys that somebody has won. You really don't hear that when it comes to Michael Jackson. I know a lot of you probably have heard about this, and I tend to get a lot of people that's from around the South, so I know some of you, or most of you, probably have been to New Orleans a time or two. The crime rate in New Orleans continues to rise, and the citizens are upset with Mayor LaToya Cantrell. She was elected in 2018 and is the first female mayor of New Orleans. She has recently been in the news for not providing a clear and concise plan for reducing crime in her city. There has been scrutiny regarding her travel, access to a city apartment, allegations of an improper relationship with a member of her security detail, Officer Vapey, travel expenses, and she has agreed to pay back the $30,000, and paying her stylist huge sums of money. The citizens are pressuring her to get the crime under control. New Orleans has been given the moniker murder capital. There is fear and ongoing outcry for help to reduce the number of violent and nonviolent crimes. We are in the second month of 2023 and crime is up 14% in the city already. Online content creators have taken to social media to advise visitors to not attend Mardi Gras or to be careful. So have any of you ever been to Mardi Gras? Let's just start there. How many of you have been to Mardi Gras in New Orleans? I personally have not gone to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. It's a dump. Oh, wow. She said it's a dump. Okay, I see a hand waving. They've been. All right. I know some people have, some people haven't. But if you just type in New Orleans in the, let's just use TikTok, type in New Orleans in the search engine, you'll find a lot of content creators telling you about the crime, telling you about the corruption of what they can perceive to be corruption in the leadership in the city. And it's getting bad, bad. I want to say in January, they were already up to like 300 and something carjackings. No, been warned not to go. Yeah, right now they're warning people not to even come to New Orleans because the crime is out of control. They don't have enough police officers, and they have a lot of youth that are committing crimes. And when they arrest them, they pretty much let them go. We go for small events, not Mardi Gras. We just go to the good old Galveston. I know that's right, Crystal. I like going to the Galveston Mardi Gras too. I've been to the Satchmo Jazz Fest. I've gone to the Jazz Fest there before. I've gone to the Jazz Fest. We had a really good time. But this was before the crime has gotten out of control. And I've seen different news snippets of the mayor. And the mayor get real snappy when she up there talking to the press. And I think she don't like the fact that they press her about what she's going to do about the crime. So my question to you is, who should really be held responsible? Should it be the police, the mayor, city council, or all three? Who should be responsible for really trying to turn that city around? I'm a barber. I can give you a discount on your mustache. You might want to give your mama a discount on her mustache. How about that? Because I don't have one. But you know what? Everybody, don't. Who is that? Let me see. Everybody, her disc 6. Can y'all tell them what happened? Can somebody please go ahead and tell her this 6 what they getting ready to get? Crystal, can you go ahead and get that person a boop, blessed block? Because that's what you're going to get over here on G Butterfly TV. We're not playing with you at all. A blessed block. By Heifer. Oh, you calling me a heifer? Oh, you getting ready to get a blessed block. And I'm glad you said bye, because you don't have to come over. There is literally millions of TikTok channels you can go to. You do not have to come to G Butterfly TV. And if you do, you're going to act accordingly. If not, you're going to get a boop, a blessed block. We do it real quick over here. We don't play around. We don't play around. They said the same thing in another live. You know what? It's probably little kids. It could be a little youngster. But everybody grown over here. Full grown. Full grown with bills and responsibilities. So we're not playing them games. Mayor and the police chief are hiring a dirtbag police officers. Right now, they're saying that they don't even have enough officers to patrol. So we're saying that the community, the police, but how much can the community do if they're afraid? I heard a lady this morning, she was a school teacher. She said just yesterday, her husband, and her child were carjacked. She said, luckily they didn't get hurt. She said, but that just goes to show how no matter where you are, no matter where you live, the crime is just out of control and something has to be done. Who need a microphone? And y'all see, I got my glass back, my butterfly glass my mama bought me. And you know what I'm drinking? Limeade. Your shirt cute, thank you. I love your cup. Thank you. My mama bought it for me. I thought it was so cute. Let me see. G Butterfly Queen, you got me laughing my ass off. Because when I see a comment, if it catch my attention, I might say something. New Orleans, I've been there more times than I can count. It's a really fun place to go to. I don't think it's a place to take kids. I think it's definitely an adult atmosphere. Plenty of love from Houston. All right. Hey, neighbor. You know, when somebody from Houston, I say, hey, neighbor. But yeah, I don't think it's a place for kids. I think it's a place for adults to go have adult fun. But right now, I don't even want to go back just at the amount of crime that I've been hearing about. So maybe they'll get it together because they're going to have a lot of people in about 6 months jam packed down there for Essence. So I don't know what they're going to do. Praying for New Orleans. Hope things get better soon. Voting matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But also, you got to have a buy-in from the city council, from your governor, from your the people that's in the city. It has to be a group effort to really get the city back to where they would want it to be, so that people will feel comfortable coming there. Because I know a lot of their money comes from tourists, and if tourists are afraid to come, they got a problem. Yeah, I just left. It's crazy there. I know it is. I see a lot of talks people talking about the crime. Yeah, they always talking about how bad the crime is. There's one lady that I like watching. I think she's called Nola Girl on TikTok. I think she's called Nola Girl, and she always tells you about everything that's going on in New Orleans. I like following her. So if you get an opportunity, look for Nola Girl. She's a light complected lady that sometimes wears braids, and she's always talking about the news, that's going on in New Orleans, and I enjoy watching her. Oh, Memphis is bad as well. Wow, y'all just had that big story the other day with the 5 police officers. So I know that's going to be developing and ongoing for a while. Alrighty, so now this was another story. Now tell me what you think about this. Excuse me, Milwaukee, Wisconsin is bad. Seriously, really? I have an employee who's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and ask him, hey, have you heard about your hometown? They down there cutting up. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's bad in Houston. Hell yeah, it is. They need to do something about the crime. It's getting bad in Houston. It really is. I did a couple of videos, because I do live from the parking lot every morning. A couple of times I've talked about the crime in Houston. Poverty and corruption equates crime. That's most of our inner cities, yeah. Now, a landlord attempts to get her rent 5 days early, and I want you to stay focused on a 5 days early. Landlord attempts to get her rent 5 days early and during a 2-year-old's birthday party. The residents didn't allow her to enter the home, and she put her foot in the door frame so that they could not close the door. They threatened to call the police. She continued to aggressively speak to them and attempted to hit the resident through the door, because you could see her hitting through the door like that. There was a person standing behind the screaming landlord, hollering, she's not alone, she's not alone. I guess to let the residents know she got back up in an attempt to further attack the residents. If this was you, what would you do? Hey, Canes, I'm glad you're in there. Homeboy, I'm glad you're on here. What would you do if you were the resident? Now, rent is not even due, but they coming to you 5 days early saying that they want their rent money. You trying to have a 2-year-old a birthday party for your child in the backyard, and you got this person out here cutting a fool. You got the person behind them in the back up saying she not alone, she not alone. What would you do if you were faced with that? Mind you, rent is not even due. What would you do? Protect your ground. Castle law. Call police. Landlord is definitely wrong. Yes, indeed, she is. She was just all puffed up, bucking them. Foot in the door. And wait a minute. Why she had ugly shoes on? I say, you can't go acting a fool and then you ain't together. At least be together. Them shoes was ugly. Call the police. That's the only thing you can do. Yeah, she wouldn't get it until the night before it's late and I'm calling the police. I know that's right. But I couldn't understand what was the purpose of bringing the backup. Because they definitely in the wrong, because the rent was not due. That's like somebody coming to your house on the 25th. Look, I'm here for the rent money. Oh, you gonna give it to me? And then they say, well, we're trying to have our 2-year party. She said something about fuck that party. I don't give a damn about that party. She said something along those lines. And they kept trying to close the door, and she had her foot in the frame. And next thing you know, you see her punch through the door at the people who were living in the house. They don't know the law, and they bullying. Yes, they are. I could see if it was the 10th of the month and they hadn't even paid from the 1st to the 9th. The landlord going to 10, hey, how you doing? I'm just coming by to pick up the rent. The rent is late. When I tell you her whole attitude was stank when she hit the door. Attitude stank. I said, you know what? That's not her first time treating them like that either. She was too comfortable with what she was doing and how she was acting. And the lady behind her was very comfortable, letting them know she got backup if y'all want to jump stupid. That's not her first time. She lucky that she didn't get shot. Sometimes you gotta act a fool. I'm just saying. Who, the landlord? E. Keynes. You talking about the landlord? Because she was in the wrong. Landlord trying to assault someone. She sure was strong on. Maybe the tenants have been late in the past. You know what? Let's just say it's me and I don't even pay rent. Let's just say I've been late for the last 2 years, but I pay it. I don't care how many times I was late in the past. It's not due right now. So don't come knocking on my door asking me for my rent and it's not even due. You see what I'm saying? It's certain things you just can't do. And that lady felt comfortable cutting the food. And she probably thought they were going to acquiesce to what she wanted and just either pay her early or whatever. But I'm like, you cannot do that. That's against the law. That's against the law. Past is the past. That's right. I don't care how many times I could have been late in the past. If it's not due right now, get out my face. And she lucky they didn't close that door on them old ugly shoes she had on. Don't come to my home for rent, mail, cash out before they can evict. Don't come. Well, you know what? I know a couple of people that have rental properties and they actually go to the rental property and pick up the rent, but they have that kind of rapport with the people that's been living there. I know some people who rent out property that use an actual rental company and the tenant pays the rental company pays the owner of the property. So I know people who do it both ways and they don't really have any issues. But I couldn't understand how that lady was cutting a food 5 days before rent was even due. It's your presence. Oh, okay. Hello, from Warner Robins, Georgia. See, what did I tell y'all? I'm telling you, Georgia be over here. Y'all must be sending out a statewide thread. Y'all sending out to my G Butterfly on. Y'all better get on over there and check her out. I think that's what y'all doing over there in Georgia. I crack myself up. Now listen at this. Now if you know what? I really want to hear what mothers have to say. So please get ready to comment if you're a mother. And I really need to hear what the fathers have to say. And if you're not a father, just what the men have to say once you hear this particular topic. All right, listen to this one. A 31-year-old man was going off on his mother because she put him out. Her current boyfriend, not her husband, her current boyfriend said that he could no longer live there if he was going to be paying the bills because the son wasn't paying any bills. He was just living on his mama. The son was cussing his mama out and calling her all types of names because he got so mad that she put him out. Now, the person who was telling the story was not the boyfriend and was not the 31-year-old, but he was someone that the 31-year-old called just to have somebody to talk to and said that it was the man's mother's fault. Oh, the man who the son called to just kind of talk about what was happening, he felt like it was the mother's fault that the son was in this predicament because she allowed him to live there without having any responsibilities, not paying any bills until he was well up in his 30s. And he didn't have a clear plan of what he was going to do with his life and allowed him to not pay any bills. So if you are a mother, what do you think about that? Your son is staying with you, not paying any bills. Now your new man come and start living with you. And he tell him, Junior got to go. If I'm going to be in here paying the bills, he got to roll on out. Now, and as a man, I need to know, the men in the chat, what would be your position on that? Sounds like a movie, Baby Boy. Yep, he got to go. Okay. Doc K just say he got to go. Read it again. All right. It only take us a second. A 31-year-old man was going off on his mother because she put him out the house. Her current boyfriend, not her husband, but her current boyfriend said that he could not live there as long as he was paying all the bills. The son was cussing his mama out and calling her all types of names. Now, the 31-year-old called another man to vent about what was going on and to tell him that he had been put out by his mother because of the boyfriend told the mom he had to go. The man who he called to talk to said that all of this is the mother's fault because she has allowed her son to live in her house until he was well into his 30s without paying any bills, having no responsibilities, and no clear plan on what he was going to do with his life. So I'm saying, what are your thoughts? If you're a mother, what are your thoughts? And if you're a man, what will be your position? He was very disrespectful. I can see him saying that. Somebody said no comment. Somebody said giving Baby Boy vibes. Baby Boy was a movie, what, back maybe in 2000? That's like a bird when you learn how to fly on your own. Something the boy should have been gone a long time ago, okay? It's the mother's fault. He has to go. He should have been gone, okay? It's sad. He needs to man up. That's her fault. She enabled that behavior and probably wanted his companionship while single. You could be right. He's right. First, he lost respect for his mother, and he had a right to say that. Wait, first he lost respect for his mother, and he was right to say that. So it's right to cuss his mom out and call her names. It's called tough love. You know what, Big Six? I'm a proponent of tough love. The world is not going to be kind to our children. The world is not going to handle them with kid gloves and treat them like, oh, the world don't do that. So you got to tough love them in the house so they'll be ready when they go outside. Now, are they going to fail when they get out there? Yes, that's just a part of life. But the kid got to go out into the world already having some tough skin to be able to deal with some of the things that's going to be thrown at them. So you gotta give them some tough love while they're in the house. I go or the son go, unless son pays some bills and becomes respectable. I would take I would take care of a grown man. Oh, you would, Gary? It's not the mother's fault, it's the boy's fault. But where does that behavior come from? If he's not paying any bills and the mother's paying all the bills prior to the boyfriend getting there, who has allowed that behavior? I do believe if that son is not paying any bills, the mama got to take some responsibility for that. Now, was he right for cussing his mama out? Absolutely not. Was he right for calling her names? Absolutely not. But I do believe that the mom has to take some responsibility for allowing the son to live there and not pay any bills. For me, her son is grown, okay? Codependency. And somebody said earlier in the chat that she probably allowed it because she wanted the companionship. But now that she got her a boo, she okay with the son. Hit the road, Jack. I wouldn't have allowed my son to be so dependent on me. Neither would I. You know what they say on TikTok? Get somebody else to do it. He lost respect for his mother's house a long time ago. He should have been gone after graduation. She has to push him to succeed. My daughter has done this because she lost a job. Now, don't get me wrong. People go through things. People go through situations. If somebody loses their job, it's obvious they're not going to be able to pay bills at that moment. But just to stay for an extended amount of time and not paying bills, no, that's a negative. That's negative. But again, we talked just the other day. There are times when people need help. They need assistance. I get all of that. But just to allow somebody to live and never pay bills, no. And my thing is, what man want to come into that? Not no real man. I'm just saying. Wildlife doesn't even allow their own to hang around this long. Nope. No grown man needs to be home with his mommy. I agree, no grown man needs to be, unless there's some type of transition, unless something has happened, because again, everybody goes through something. Jobs are being lost every day. So I can see there's some situations where a grown man may have to go back home. I can see that. But to be there and pay no bills, and then you cuss the mama out because this man say, hey, you got to rock, you got to go. If I fed you a sandwich, I'll feel you for one day. I'll teach you how to fish. Okay, I think Big Six, what you're trying to say is you take a man to teach him to fish so he can eat for a lifetime versus giving him a fish sandwich one time. I agree with that. I understand for a short amount of time. Right, everybody need help sometime. Everybody needs some help doing something. No PS to learn hardship. Why the man come into the lady house? Think about that. Well, okay, let's think about it. Let's think about it. See, this is why I like having topics so that our chat can go ahead and talk and we can just go into other directions as long as we kind of staying in that vein and we can keep the chat moving. Now, you saying, why does the man have to come into her house? Okay, I'm going to use this just as an example because I try to see things from everybody's perspective. The lady, let's just say she just bought a brand new home. And this guy could be moving maybe from out of town. And they're in a committed relationship and they're moving in a direction of possibly getting married. Let's just say that. She has a new home. Why is she going to leave her brand new home to go stay in a possible apartment with him or go to a house with him, or he may be coming from out of town and hasn't even established a place in that city. I'm just using this as an example. I don't know if this is the people case. I don't think there's anything wrong with him coming to her house as long as they've worked out how they're going to handle everything. Now, am I a big proponent of people shacking up? No. Ooh, I showed my age when I said shacking up, huh? No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. But I can see how a guy may possibly move into a woman's home, just like women go to men's home. It could be different scenarios. It just depends. Let's see. Let's see. What happened to the older men teaching the younger men how to be a man? You know what? I talked about that. I have a video over on YouTube. It was one of these lives I did over here. I'll put it on YouTube. Find the one where I have on a blue jean jacket on YouTube. It's G Butterfly TV. We talked about you saying a man, but we were talking about Big Mama. Big Mama gone. And it's so sad because it's almost like all of the young people are just fending for themselves because is there's no longer that village that would just step in and take care of these kids and teach them things. And I think TV and social media has also gotten them to the point where they don't want to hear it from older people. For whatever reason, they don't want to hear it. They're not going to receive it. And the people that they're listening to are just as lost and young as they are. I think it's going to be an uphill battle. I really do believe it's going to be an uphill battle. And not just where are the men, where are the women. It's going to be an uphill battle. These young people they're a different breed nowadays. Yes, some men won't come to a woman's house, especially if another man has been there. That's the same thing with a woman. You know what? I can remember so many years ago when I joined my church years ago. My kids were still in school and my son's in their 30s now. And I can remember something my pastor said. He said that he's married, they're still married, but he was just using an example that if he was single and met a woman and he said they were going to get married and she had the better house. Because let's be honest, some people have a better house than the other person. Let's just be perfectly honest. He said what he would do. He said because he would not be comfortable going and moving into a woman's house. He said that's just not his thing. He wouldn't be comfortable. He said what he would do, he would move in there and he would actually buy that house from her. Let her take all the money and they would still stay there. He said, but it would have to be his house. He said as a man, he would have to buy the house for the lady to live in. He would not feel comfortable going live in a woman's house that already has a house. And I just remembered him saying that from many years ago. So the consensus is that the man really shouldn't have went into the woman's house. Maybe he had nowhere to go. At least he was able to go pay bills. That's one thing. Now, if he ain't had nowhere to go, at least he was able to go pay bills. And let's see, what else? I'm kind of behind on the chat. I have to scroll up. Yes, you're exactly right. I have a problem with men in general, even driving another woman's car. No matter how much you try to teach these young generations, they disrespectful and rude. That's, a lot of them. Well, let's look at this in a different way. Suppose the father died when he was a child. Okay, the father could have died when he was a child, and you saying that the father wasn't able to teach him anything because he died? So that means it would have fell on the shoulders of the mother if she was the only parent that he had. She should have been teaching him about responsibility, planning, everything. That would have fallen solely on her shoulders. He's right. I can't move into another man's house. Okay, times are beyond different from the 50s. Yeah, that part. Grown up folks should have their own car. Yep. I would move in long as there's an understanding that the house is mine, also not her ex. Okay, let me ask y'all a question because everybody keeps saying about this ex thing. Somebody said it earlier, now somebody said it again. And this is just not to judge. You can have your opinion, but let's think about it. When you move into a house, what difference does it matter who has stayed in that house? And I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to look at it from a different perspective. If you go move into this house, what difference does it make if another man or another woman has lived in the house because they're no longer there? And now you and that person are getting ready to make a life in that house. So what is the thing about somebody living there before you? If you move into a house that's not a brand new build, somebody has lived in that house before you. So what's the difference? I want somebody in the chat to just tell me what the difference is. And again, I'm doing this just to engage and just to have more conversation on the topic. She could have asked him to move in. She could have. I'm not putting my son out in the streets over a boyfriend. Oh, so somebody said that their spirit is still in the house. Did they die in the house? Sorry, I would need to make my own memories and not live with a ghost of memories. I put my kid out for disrespecting me, forget about the boyfriend live. Somebody. So when I saw that hat pop up on my head, I'm like, what is that? Okay. Okay, so people are saying spirits and all of that kind of stuff are in the house. My mother remarried while I was living in her house. She came to me and asked me if it's cool. Okay. Some of these people are funny. Yeah, real funny. Hello, I've been listening, just waiting to comment. Well, don't wait. Go ahead and comment. Say what you got to say. I don't understand that either when I see it. Linda Starchild, you don't understand what when people say that they don't want to live in a house because somebody else lived there. Let's just say somebody was married. They got a divorce. Just say 5, 6, 7 years ago. This lady, or man for that matter, has been living in this house alone for several years. So let's just say she has the better house and she's marrying another person and he moves over there because it could be, the house could be in better shape, closer proximity to his job. They're getting married and that's going to be the marital home. I don't understand how people have in their head that they will not live there because somebody else lived there. You can make that home your own. Guess what? You can change out the furniture, repaint the walls, different decorations, and make the house your house. So that means that somebody that's long gone have a hold on your current decision making today. I don't understand that. Somebody say, I'm moving in. There are memories still in that house. There's memories everywhere. If that, okay, look at it like this. If that's the case, if you're seeing memories everywhere that person go and you're with them, there's memories. Because that person is going to have those memories everywhere they go. Whether they in the house, in the car, at the grocery store, those memories are there. You can't get rid of that. You don't have no control over the memories. You're going to die and kill yourself trying to figure out how I'm going to make the memories go away. You can't. They just that, memories. So go into the house, redo everything, buy new furniture, do everything. My friend said their homes and bought their own. Oh, they sold. Now that's an option. But what if both people not in a position to sell, and they have to decide where they're going to live, and both people have lived in a house, either lived with somebody or were married to somebody. So these are two houses they can't sell. So one we're going to have to live in, and one we're going to have to rent out. So what do you do at that point? And you're not in a position to sell. You got to go into one of those houses. And you have to find a way, the new couple have to find a way to make that house their home. The person long gone, whether they dead, moved out, went on with their life, they are no longer living in that house. They are gone. It's not the house. It's your name is on the deed. What difference does it make? What's up with it, homie? Boss Hall, hey, I live in a home over 100 years old. Make any home your own. I know that's right. Wow, a house 100 years old. Now that house has some history. Because do you know how many people have lived in that house already? So it's all kind of memories in there. But when you get in there, you have to make it your home. You have to make it your space, your sanctuary. And you have to do that with the person that you choose to stay in that house with. Regardless of who stayed in there prior to you. I don't think people can get rid of memories unless you do have something done to your head. The memories are up here. But you can take things out of a house that constantly remind you of them. The memories are going to be there. But you can always move that stuff out and start over fresh and new in your own house. Most houses in the United States, sweetheart, it's 100 years old. Nobody knows that. Not mine. Mine 2 years old. How about if it was a man that has a 30-year-old son? Queen, are you going to move in with me? Big Six. I don't want to have to put you on mute now. You've been doing real good today, Big Six. Sounds like a historical home. At 100 years old, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Is them walls could talk? Yeah. But see, this is the thing. Everybody got a past. Regardless if you want to admit to it or not, everybody got some kind of past that another person don't want to think about. It is what it is. You cannot get away from that. You talk with a lot of sense. You know what? It's just common sense. I'm very, very, very practical. And my grandmother used to say, you got to get down to the brass tacks. The brass tacks mean you just get to the bottom of it. And the bottom is this. The house ain't did nothing to you. In your mind, you just can't get out of your head that, ooh, she was sleeping in here with a man. They were having sex in this house. What else were they doing in this house? Ooh, well, he was in here with another woman. How was she cooking for him? How was she dressing? How did she decorate? That's all up here. The house ain't did nothing to you. You got to get past what's up here. That's what's holding people back. And that's why I say I'm just very practical. Very, very practical. To me, a lot of things are very basic, and you can make them make sense real easy when you take all the foolishness and extra out. That's just what I think. You talk with a lot of sense. Hey, just basic common sense. Being new and better memories. Yeah. And even if they're not better memories, they're just new memories. Because all memories are not bad memories. They really aren't. There are people who get divorced because they just cannot work it out together. And they go their separate ways. But it's not bad. They're just mature enough to say, you know what, this just ain't working. And they go their separate ways. Somebody is going to want to stay in the house, especially if it's a house that they really liked. So eventually somebody else is going to, even if they don't move in, somebody else is going to come over there eventually and be inside of the dwelling of that house. But it's crazy when people think, I don't want to be in there. Mm-mm. Brass tacks. Yes, you got to know to get down to the brass tacks. I'm telling you, my grandmother used to say that. You must be a southern lady. You better know it out of Houston, Texas. If everybody feels that way, do not go to hotels. Do not buy certain cars. Do not buy certain houses. Because somebody, if it's not brand spanking new, somebody had already been in it. And that goes for ladies and men. Already been in it, if you get what I mean. That's all talk, no disrespect to you. It's not for everyone. Old school saying, if my woman is there, then I'm there. All right, Mark Brampton. For the people. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the South, everybody here is probably real laid back. Now you're gonna run across some real bougie people. You're gonna run across some real hood people. You're gonna run around some real lazy people. We got all kind. But the Southern hospitality is pretty much what we have down here. Let's see what else. We're talking real stuff here. We're not criticizing anyone. We're not knocking anyone. Just call respect. Yeah, everybody has their own opinion. Over here, you can give your opinion. You can talk in the chat. Just don't say nothing sideways to me. But you can have your opinion, and I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just very practical, and I might give you a different point of view to make you say, wait a minute, I never thought about it that way. See, where are you trying to catch up? What do you mean? Where I'm getting ready to go to topic number 4. We've only talked about 3 topics. I want over here on G Butterfly TV. I want everybody this is my channel, true enough. But when you're in the chat, I want you to feel like this our chat and we can just talk. And I'm comfortable enough. I don't need all them different people talking when I go live. I can just talk on my own and it could just be me and you. You like Austin? I like Austin too, but it's so healy in Austin. The third ward for 3 days. Oh, you was down in the tray. That's what they call it, in the tray. In third ward. Okay. That's how I know you was really in Houston, because you said you was in the third ward. So I know you was really here. And you was in the suburbs on the southeast. What suburbs on the southeast? I'm trying to imagine. A suburb on the southeast. Or was it southwest? Okay, I've been there, down there. Old school. Come visit Kansas City. I've been to Kansas City before. I've been there before. 2 of my nieces used to live there. And my first cousin. I went there in January one time. It was so damn cold. The roads was frozen. And I had never, down here we don't get all that cold. And I had to drive on the roads. I'm just glad we didn't slip and slide. We came there for a wedding and it was frozen down there. Woo, that was a mess. Let's get on our next topic. We're going to keep it rocking and rolling. This one was funny. A woman takes a garbage bag full of her husband's belongings to his side woman's house. She begins to ring the doorbell and bam on the door. The other woman opens the door and the wife is screaming, "If you want him, you can have him." And she has a black plastic bag with his belongings. She was cursing and causing a scene on the porch. She was hollering for the man to come to the door, however, he did not. What are your thoughts if you saw this happening? Now, one thing that caught my attention when this lady went to the door and said, "If you want him, you can have him," because she had a black trash bag. And I would say it was probably a 30-gallon bag. Anybody who has a house and has to put out trash probably know what a 30-gallon trash bag looks like. Why it looked like he had this much stuff in that 30-gallon trash bag? I'm like, if that's all he had, why are you worried about that man? But that's just me. But she was bamming on that door, and the lady came to the door, and she was like, What are you talking about?" And she was like, "You're causing a scene and da da da." And whoever was with this woman was standing behind her, videotaping, and she was asking the lady in the door, "Please don't call the police. Please don't call the police." This lady was so upset, the one who was at the door holding the trash bag, and she was cursing and cutting a fool on this woman's porch because the boyfriend was in there. She talked to him and put him in the trash bag. That's what she said could happen. I would have opened the door and just looked at her. She said just looked at her. But when I saw that, it got me to thinking, why would you even put yourself in that position to go over there with a trash bag nonetheless? This lets me know that man ain't have shit. So why are you cutting a fool over a man who got this much stuff in a 30-gallon trash bag? And she was holding, "You can have it. You can have it." I said, what in the whole hell was going on? Yes, somebody saying that she could have got shot. Yes, she could have. She was already trespassing because she was on this woman's porch. Yeah, she could have just left it outside. Because obviously, if that's all she had, that's all he had. And she said, "You can have him." And that's the only little bit he got. That man don't have nothing. So I don't even see why she was cutting a fool over him. You don't need a lot of clothes to make a woman happy. And I agree with you 100%. Because some people can have absolutely nothing, and that woman feel like she got a king, and he don't have nothing. She wanted a confrontation. Now, you know what? I think she wanted her man. I just think you still have to have some type of emotional attachment to a person to go and act a fool like that at another person's place over that person. She should have set that on the curb. I think the lady still wanted him. I don't care how she did all that hooping and hollering and cussing and just acting a fool. That lady was still emotionally attached to that man, and she still wanted him. She just wanted to cause a scene and really wanted her man back. Yes, she wanted him back. As black people, when are we going to learn how to approach a situation with intelligence? This is not about black people. That question can go for all people. There's so many people, I don't care what race they are, that do not have good emotional intelligence, and they don't know how to manage their emotions. I think it was Ship Channel. That's where I was at. The Ship Channel. Okay, I know exactly what the area is. I think people just don't know how to manage their emotions. You have to be able to manage your emotions to get through difficult situations. I pride myself on being able to compartmentalize a lot of stuff to get the job done. Whatever it is I need to do, I'm able to compartmentalize and do what I need to do to handle the task at hand. And a lot of people don't really have that skill set. Of course she wants him. That's why the bag wasn't full. You might be right. She could have kept some of his shit at her house. Look, just in case he come back, I'm going to go ahead and leave these Nike tennis shoes here and that blue flannel shirt. That's going to stay there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave his Dominoes. I'm going to let his Dominoes stay because he might come back. You sure right. She might have left some of his stuff. So you right. But I don't care about other races of people. Well, when you say black people, it's all that's a broad statement. And over here, it's not just black. It's everybody who don't know how to act in certain situations. We see that all day, every day, from social media, TV. It's not just black people who don't know. It's everybody. It's definitely everybody. Okay, the man should have came out and talked to the woman and calmed her down. Hell, he might have been scared. I bet she was a little bit short or something. He was probably scared because she looked like she was a rather tall woman. He could have been scared. He probably didn't know what to do. Because you know why? If he in that woman's house, you don't know what kind of lies he could have been telling that woman that he in the house with. He could have told her that he didn't even have a woman. So he probably just scared, sitting on the bed like, oh hell, some shit then jumped off. Let me see how I'm gonna work my way out of this. But he letting her go to the door. He probably a no good, busted up old dude. Damn, you so real. You better know it. You better know it. That's all you're gonna get over here with G Butterfly TV. He not crazy. He wasn't coming out. She probably would have jumped him. I got the impression that she will fight him, but she want her man back. That's the only reason she was over there cutting the food. She don't mean he's scared. But yeah, she want him back because this is my thing, and I'm a firm believer of this. I'm a firm believer. When you through, you through. You ain't gonna argue. You ain't gonna fuss. You're not gonna clown. You're not. You ain't gonna do nothing. It'll be like, okay, she not through. She too emotionally invested, and you can just tell how she was acting. She not through with that man. If he came back to her and said all the right stuff, she gonna just start taking that stuff out that black trash bag. Oh no, that's all right, boo. Let me put it up for you. I got you. I got you. I got you. So real is in real life. Yep, you sure right, Miss Callis. He's probably ran out the back door. He could have. Probably trying to run back home while she over there trying to run back home to see if she really put all his stuff in that trash bag. But all right, we're gonna go on to the next story. Now, several Houston public libraries have been vandalized with a total loss north of $28,000. The libraries have been broken into after hours. No one has been hurt. The city has increased security, enhanced lighting, and the libraries now have gone cashless because the people were breaking in and stealing the cash that was in the libraries. So my thought was, what's going to happen to the old, and the libraries have now decided they're going to go totally cashless. How many of you still go to the libraries to utilize their services, whether it's computers, printers, or just to read books? How many of you actually still go to the library? Or take your children or grandchildren to the library? How many of you do that? Okay, Crystal says she still go to the library. Okay, anybody else still go to your local city libraries? Mark says no. When I was a lot younger, I used to go to the library. The phone is all you need now. Okay, I take my residence. Okay, you take the residence over there. The reason I say that, when I was a lot younger, I used to like to go to the library. I love to read. I used to like going to the libraries, but I haven't actually gone inside of a library to utilize library resources in years. The last time I went to the library, I was actually in Galveston and had to look up something really quick. And my aunt does not have internet and all that stuff at her house, so I had to go to the library to do what I needed to do while I was there. And before then, only time I go in the library, that's my voting. That's why I vote here in the city. You know, they have different voting locations. The library just happened to be one. So I'll go into the library for that. But again, somebody was just saying that the phone is the book now. You can do everything with your phone. I would venture to say that majority of the people who still go to the library are probably 50 on up. Or there may be a lot of young parents who take the small children, possibly. But I'm just want to focus on the 50 and up crowd that still goes to the library. Can you imagine how many older people, let's just say 60, 65, that's still able to get around, go to the library, that's not tech savvy? So if they're not tech savvy and everything is cashless, do you know that may prevent some of the older people who are accustomed to going to the library to utilize the services at the library? That may prevent them from going to the library. When I read it, I was like, wow. I just had my last baby shower at the library. Oh, wow. That was creative. That was creative at a library. That's all right. But just think about the people who actually go to the library. It may be older people who are not tech savvy when they say gotta go cashless. Well, that may be all they have because they may not want to use cards because they're conditioned to have cash and checks based on their age and the generation that they come from. So now everything is cash. If they go to the library to go get a book, let's say they want to go check out 3 books. Well, everything is cash. Well, all I have is cash. So they leave the books and go back home. And they may not go back to the library. So by everything on cashless, I think it's just going to affect more people than they realize. And it's probably going to affect the core group of people that actually go to the library. They don't know how to use the phone then. A lot of older people don't. And that's just that's honest. A lot of older people don't really know how to utilize the technology. Hell, some of the stuff on my phone I can't do, and I had to call my son and say, what am I supposed to do about so and so and so and so? And I use technology all day long at work, but it's just certain things when it comes to the phone that I just can't figure out. Libraries need programs to teach the older generations how to use the technology. Yep, that could possibly be so. But I do use the services when I'm there. Okay. Because I know when I went, they had a computer and a printer that I could log into to do what I needed to do at that time. But I didn't have to. I didn't have to purchase anything or pay for anything. But just imagine the older people. Are you that old, Gary? What do you mean, Gary? When you say "Are you that old"? Who exactly are you talking to? Me? Or are you talking to the people in the chat? And when you're saying "Are you that old?" What do you mean about not knowing how to use some of the technology in my phone? I don't think that really has to do anything with age. It's just not knowing. How is that going to affect the people that use the library the most? You know how to use a phone? I certainly do. I'm using one right now. Do you, Gary, know how to use a phone? How about that? G Butterfly, I wanted to say I enjoyed watching your live. I'm about to go to bed. God bless. All right. I think that's big. I can't see the name and okay. I can't hardly see who's saying that. But thank you so much. I appreciate you coming over. Get your rest, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, Gary. Of course not. You don't know how to use a phone, but you own one now, so I can assume maybe you're on a computer. I don't know what you own, but you're getting ready to be blessed in a minute. Most libraries, you have to use a credit card, and they educate you on how to use it. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the libraries here in Houston was still taking cash until all of these robberies just occurred, and now they're actually going to go cashless. So, and I also read that they're going to go cashless. They're attempting to go cashless on the printers. So I don't know if there's some type of printers where you can put your money in to pay for. I don't know, but they were saying that they were going to do that as well. So we'll see how that's going to work out. John Cott or Coot, I guess it may be pronounced John Coot. He's 32 years old. He's been arrested for impersonating a police officer. Police were called to 14400 Ella Boulevard in Houston after a report of a man posing as an officer after being confrontational with the rental office staff and showing them a gun. He was attempting to gain access to surveillance video because he was facing eviction at the complex. He was charged with impersonating an officer and a felon with possession of a firearm. He was previously convicted in 2014 of felony assault of a family member. When I read that, I'm like, he went through all that. What the hell was on that video camera that he was trying to make sure it didn't get seen by somebody? And I wonder if he was doing something that proved that the reason that they were going to evict him was valid. I say, what in the world was he doing? And he was definitely trying to cover up something, but it didn't work because now he could have been a slammer. Ooh, that's old school when you say slammer. You don't hear people say going to the slammer no more. But yeah, when I read that story, I said, you know what? Did he think they were going to recognize him? I don't know. And you know what? It's possible. Maybe the people in the office didn't really recognize him, but when he came acting a fool and was demanding the video and he showed a gun and was saying, I'm a police officer, they called the police on who they thought was a police officer because he was cutting up so bad in the office. So when the police came, then that's how they were able to find out he wasn't a real police officer. What he wanted was whatever was on that video footage, that's what he wanted. And I bet whatever he was doing was the reason he was getting evicted. Possibly selling drugs, assault, who knows? It could have been a lot of things in the lease that said what he couldn't do, and he actually was on video camera doing it. Or somebody else that he's trying to protect could have possibly been doing something on that camera, and he wanted to make sure he got that video footage. Why would he even stick around for the real police to come? Dumb criminal. We didn't have them three shows in a row. We didn't talk about dumb criminals, and he was definitely one. I say, Lord. And that just goes to show how sometimes these people can be criminals and they don't care that they have a record. They don't care that they have felonies, that they may be going back to the pen. They just keep doing the same old dumb shit over and over and over. So I say, and I wonder who else could have lived in an apartment with him. Because I wonder would they be, well, if he was getting evicted, that means the whole family or whoever was in there, they were getting evicted too. So who knows? Who knows? Oh, we rocking and rolling from revolving door effect. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Some of them just don't care. They don't mind going to jail. Some of them go and just be like, hey, my homeboy over there. All right, I'm back. Some of them don't care at all. A shooting occurred at a house party in Huntsville, Texas, close to the campus of Sam Houston State University, which is located about 40 miles north of Houston on I-45. There are two young men that the police are searching for in connection with the shooting. One person died from their injuries and four others were taken to local hospitals. Per Fox 26 News, the party was very large in size. HPD is asking that anyone that has information to call 713-222-TIPS. And this is another story of young people not having any regard for life. They went to these parties. Now, this is a thing, and I don't know why these people don't realize. Everybody has a phone. Everybody's taping everything. They got both of those people, those two young men, they face biggest day on the news website. Somebody gonna know who they are, and they're gonna turn them into the police. So whatever, now they didn't kill somebody and shot four other people. These boys, young men rather, getting ready to go to jail for a long time. And at a house party up there in Huntsville. Anybody in here know, if you're not from the Houston area, anybody else heard of Huntsville, Texas? Okay, so they're resuming my live. Did y'all see that? Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can get my light to come back on. Okay. Did y'all see that the lights just went like whoop and came right back? I wonder if transformer blue. Ooh, that's scary. Because I'm upstairs. If the lights go out up here, it's pitch black. I had to go downstairs. But yeah, let's see. I used to live in Huntsville. Oh, really? Okay, Huntsville. You know, that's right down the road. Anybody from Houston know about Huntsville? Straight down the road. You know, they got Huntsville, Alabama. We got Huntsville, Texas. I'm quite sure there may be some other Huntsvilles, other places. But yeah, I say these young people just don't care anymore. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody's going to be turning in their information to the police department. Everybody trying to get that money through TIPS, the 222 tips. But yep, it's only going to be a matter of time before they find those two young men. And the one thing I noticed when I looked at the young men's pictures, there was no life in their eyes. Are you talking about Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama? No, I'm talking about Huntsville, Texas, 40 miles north of Houston. Same city as the prison, right? Yep. Huntsville is where one of the larger prisons are here in Texas. I think that's where we have our maximum security prison. Yeah, you have a beautiful heart and beautiful eyes. Thank you so much. But I noticed when I was looking at the picture of the two young men that they're looking for, both of the young men, there was like no life in their eyes. And sometimes you notice that with these young people walking around here, it's like an emptiness in their eyes. I love your live. Thank you, Gary. I'm glad you came over. We always have a good time over here on G Butterfly TV. Every day I have topics because I hate to flip through these people's lives and they all yak about a relationship. Everybody relationship gurus, everybody preachers. And sometimes when I see certain lives, I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Y'all not talking about nothing. So I feel like I need to get some topics so we can actually talk about something. So I feel like I didn't sit here and waste your time. I'm all in now. All right, Gary. Every day at about 7:30, 7:45, somewhere in that range, I come on. At least 5-6 days a week. They were wearing devil horns at the Grammys. Mr. Bowleg, who had on devil horns? I'm quite sure if somebody had devil horns on, that was Bowleg. Who had on devil horns? I'm quite sure if somebody had devil horns on, that would be before, because your name is not familiar. But usually when we have our topics, and these are our topics, we stay in that vein. We don't veer off into all these other topics. Now, I think, yes, I seen that. Yes, you seen what, Gary? But we going on to our next topic. But yeah, I brought that story up to say that the young men had no life in their eyes. And if you notice, when you see a lot of these people that's committing crimes and doing all this wild stuff, look at their eyes. There's going to be an emptiness there. Usually you can see life, love, laughter, everything in people's eyes. But when it's just like a dead look, You need to be well. Be well, that person. Oh, so Gary, you say you saw devil horns too. Moving right along. Yes, we are. We moved right along. Now, the Texas Education Agency, better known as the TEA, is again threatening to take control of the Houston Independent School District, locally is known as HISD. This was a recommendation from the state Supreme Court. If the TEA is successful in their takeover, they will have to manage 200 schools. This is due to failing test scores at Phyllis Wheatley High School and the past misconduct of school board members. Parents and teachers voiced their opposition to the takeover. They feel that the state should offer support and not try to take over the school district. State Representative Paul Bettencourt said that the district needs conservatorship. This is not the first time that the TEA has threatened to take over the district. I want to say it happened about 4 or 5 years ago. The TEA was talking about stepping in and completely taking over HISD because of different scores and different things that was going on. And I said it was so sad to see that the adults are arguing back and forth about this TEA, the education, but the kids are the ones that's suffering. The kids are the ones that's suffering. Do you have a podcast? No, I don't. This is my 3rd week on live with TikTok. It's about your topic. What you mean it's about your topic, Mr. Bowley? They should. Now the state does offer support and chances before it comes to this point. Right. Well, they're definitely talking about taking over HISD. So I'm going to kind of follow that story to see what's going to happen. No, but I say, wow, and it's happened, like I say, it's been recent. Like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they were just threatening to take over HISD. HISD is one of the largest school districts in the country. One of the largest. So let's see. Oh, this is a follow-up story. Now we're going to our next topic. This is a follow-up story. Hey, Yvonne, thanks for coming over. Follow-up story. Dallas zoo monkeys were returned after they were stolen by Davion Irvin. He was 24. He was arrested in connection with the monkeys and the leopard that was released after a hole was cut in the fence. The Dallas Police Department got a tip from a Dallas aquarium employee. Her name was Paula Carson, because she recognized Davion as a person of interest from the zoo story. So she struck up a conversation with the young man while he was at the aquarium, and she said he kept asking her a lot of questions about the animals, and she just kind of followed him along while he was at the aquarium. But while she was talking to him and just engaging him about the animals, she kept texting the security at the aquarium. So while she was texting them at the security, when the guy left, they let him leave the aquarium, and then they called the police department. Well, the police department say that he got on a DART. A DART is the Dallas transit system. He got on a DART, and they actually picked him up at Pacific Avenue. So I guess when he got off the DART, they picked him up at Pacific Avenue. So now he's facing 6 animal cruelty charges. He's also facing 2 charges of burglary into the building where the monkeys were found, and also because he cut the hole in the fence at the zoo, which allowed the leopard to escape. Now the Dallas Police Department says that more charges may be filed. And surveillance led them to the vacant building where the monkeys, and this was the thing, other malnourished animals were found. So did this young man bring the other malnourished animals to this vacant apartment building? I say, and remember, I said I knew it had to be an inside job. Now, they didn't say if this young man worked at the zoo. He may, but when I read it, I didn't see anything about that. But I said it had to be an inside job. This young man worked at the zoo. He may, but when I read it, I didn't see anything about that. But I said it had to be an inside job. Able to get the monkey. You will go viral. I actually have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build up my subscribers on YouTube. I want to go live on YouTube. I just don't have enough subscribers yet. I have less than 600. I actually need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to be able to go live over there. Yes, it's Houston Independent School District. He was going to steal. Well, he did steal. He stole those monkeys out of there and took them to that abandoned building. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering the story right from last week, they found the monkeys in the apartment inside of a closet. He put the monkeys in a closet. But when they said they had other malnourished animals there, I wonder if this kid, because at 24 to me, he's still a kid, if this young man had this thing about animals because he was at the zoo asking about a lot of animals. I mean, not at the zoo. He was at the Dallas Aquarium asking this lady, Paula Carson, a lot of questions about the animals. So maybe this young man just has this thing about animals. And it may not be that he wants to harm them. He may really like animals. And again, don't know how to manage his fascination with these animals. And now he's getting ready to go to jail. He was going to sell them on the black market, I think. It's possible. Right now, you can't put nothing past nobody. Somebody said, I live in Dallas. He was not a worker. He was going to sell the exotic animals on black market. Oh, wow. See, because I didn't read anything about him being an employee. But I think it has to be an inside job. If he doesn't work there, he knows somebody who does work there. Because you can't, okay, I've never been to the Dallas Zoo. I'm just going to speak about the Houston Zoo. You cannot walk into the Houston Zoo and just get the monkey and hold it and say, oh, I'm going to put it in my backpack. I'm going to take it home with me. You can't even get into those habitats and those areas with those animals. That's why I say it has to be somebody that's inside. I have a topic that will be relevant if you start a podcast. I don't even know how to start a podcast. That's something that I may consider later. But I have to build up a following that will follow me over to a podcast. But again, a lot of times I feel like I have something to say. And clearly people think I have something to say because they come watch me every day. Like TV. Big money. What do you mean? Big money? You mean selling the animals? Mark, is that what you're saying? Big money because he can go and sell the animals? But it has to be somebody inside. Because how could he get into, because they've arrested him for cutting a hole in the leopard area so the leopard can get out. So if the leopard if he cut the hole, how did he get into the habitat where the leopard is living to be able to cut the hole so the leopard can get out? Because I'm thinking about the zoo here in Houston. For all of those wild animals like that, there's some type of barrier where the people, the visitors, the spectators cannot get in there with those animals. So it's an inside job. And I think more is going to come out. So that's going to be a developing story, and I'm going to keep on top of that. In 2018, 10 people lost their lives and 13 others were injured during the Santa Fe High School massacre. Demetrio Pagutis, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He pled guilty but was found to be incompetent to stand trial. He has been in a Texas mental facility since the tragic event. He was recently found incompetent again, and the judge is going to sign off on an order to have him reevaluated in 12 months. What are your thoughts about that? This young man pleaded guilty to killing all those kids. And, well, not just kids, it was kids and adults. And wounding so many others at the Santa Fe High School. And the family cannot get any justice because they keep saying that he's mentally incompetent to stand trial. What do you think about that? Do you think they should go ahead and just sentence him to prison like they would sentence somebody else that was found guilty? Because he's already pleaded guilty to doing it. So what do you think they should do about that? Do you think he should be able to just stay in a mental institution and not stand trial for his crime, even though he's already confessed to it? And somebody in there is saying, okay, this year he's not competent. This year he's not competent. This year, and the judge is signing another 12-month order. Let's see, he was competent enough to go through with the massacre. Exactly. And then he pleaded guilty. He told them that he did it. So I don't understand, and I guess I just don't understand the judicial system enough, or the mental health system enough, to why, since he's pleaded guilty, you know he did it, why you just can't give him a prison sentence and put him in a prison that offers some type of mental health for whatever his condition is. What do you think about that? Well, mental health is a big issue on all platforms. Mental health is a huge issue right now all across America, and I'm sure it might be in other places as well, but I don't know about it. But in America, mental health is a big issue now. They'll show you his picture. But do it matter what color he is? Because he's killed a lot of people and injured many more. So his color doesn't really matter. Or are you saying it matters because he keeps being found incompetent and he's just sitting in a mental hospital? Tell me why you ask, Gary. And when you say it matters, why are you saying it matters? That's what I'm asking. And I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I just want you to tell us why it matters when you ask, okay, what color is he? Mental health shouldn't absolve you from your punishment. I agree with that. But if they send them to prison, they have to have some type of mental health professionals to take care of whatever his needs are. Black can't get away with nothing. Okay. I know some of you probably know who the Kardashians are. That's just a well known family across the world. On Instagram, on an Instagram post, Kylie Jenner can be heard scolding her niece Dream Kardashian, who is the daughter of her older brother Rob and Blac Chyna. Dream, who is her niece, was attempting to touch the cake of Kylie's daughter Storm during Storm's 5th birthday party. Social media went into a frenzy with people complaining about her reprimand. But I didn't see anything wrong with what she said because she kept telling her, no, no, don't touch the cake. No, don't touch the cake. And you can see a picture of the little girl like this getting ready to touch the cake. And it was a beautiful cake. And she was telling her, no, don't touch it because it was for her daughter's birthday. Now, how many moms, dads, uncles, grandparents would say the exact same thing to a child if you were at a birthday party, if you see them getting ready to stick their finger in the cake? So why do you think social media made such a huge deal over Kylie telling Rob's daughter, don't touch the cake? Mental health is real, especially during these unpredictable times. The pandemic had an impact, a huge impact. I would tell her to get back and tell her mama to get her. I'm sure they didn't invite the mama to that party. Her daddy probably was there, but I'm sure the mama was nowhere to be found at that party. But again, the internet went crazy and was saying that she was wrong for scolding. And I said the words that they said in the article because the words were very inflammatory. They said that she scolded her. They didn't like how she reprimanded her. And she was just telling her, no, no, don't touch the cake. And you, like I say, you see the little girl like this. And I say, I wonder, is it because she's a Kardashian? Or do you think they looked at it like she's talking to her little black niece that way? I would say, girl, don't touch this damn cake. Before I read who put the comment in, why I knew it was you when I saw girl. Oh, that was funny. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Anybody that I know, now I don't know about the people you know, but the people I know, just like Callie said, I think it's because of her mother that they were trying to make it a bigger issue. I think that's exactly what it was. I think that's exactly what it was. Anybody that I know would tell a kid, don't touch that cake. Go sit down. We getting ready to cut the cake or whatever. You're not going to let the kid just walk up there, especially if it's not that kid's birthday. Now, if it was her daughter, she may be a little more lenient with her daughter if the daughter wanted to touch her own birthday cake. But for another kid to come up and get ready to touch it, your first reaction is to say, no, don't do that. Don't put your finger in the cake. Don't touch the cake. That's just what normal people are going to do. So I don't think people should hold her to a higher standard because she's Kylie Jenner to say that she shouldn't scold her niece like that. Yes, she should. Guess what? She's teaching her niece boundaries. She need to teach her boundaries while she's a little kid. If not, you're going to have crazy when you get older, and she's going to be doing what she want to do with no regard for anybody else or authority. So yes, she did the right thing about telling her, no, don't touch the cake. I got a pass on this topic. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Children don't wash their hands. Don't look where their hands have been touching. Okay. Everyone has their own way of chastising and know what level of force to use. Farty dog, you back in here? I ain't seen you in a couple of days. Yeah, everybody. Okay, in the chat, just say yes or no. That's the only comment. That's the only response I want you to give. Can you understand why she told a little girl, don't touch the cake? Normal people, but what about rich white people? What does being rich and white have to do with this story? We're talking about a child getting ready to do something she wasn't supposed to do, and her aunt told her, don't do it. Somebody, I got one no who said she couldn't understand why the aunt told her no. Okay. But we got a lot of yes where everybody that's saying yes say they can understand why the aunt said, don't touch the cake. Okay, yeah, I can definitely understand it. I think people made a big deal because she's a Kardashian. They were even making comments about how she decorated her house for her 5-year-old daughter's birthday, how she decorated her backyard. Why would she have this giant blow up head in her backyard? I think they just blew it up more than it had to be, especially with this little thing about teaching a little girl don't touch the cake. She's supposed to correct her. That's what adults are supposed to do. You know what? I had to tell my granddaughter one time. I was telling her about something she was doing, and she got all sensitive, like she wanted to cry. And I'm trying to think, what did she tell me? She said, "You're mad at me. You're mad at me." And I had to tell her, because I correct you does not mean that I'm mad at you. Because I correct you does not mean that I don't love you. I love you. That's why I correct you. So she is supposed to tell her niece, don't touch the cake. That little girl could have been digging her nose right before she got ready to touch the cake. You know what I mean? Social media is crazy. Little girl, it ain't your damn cake. That's what's wrong with people now. They're not correcting the little badass children. They let them do what they want to do. But she did exactly what she was supposed to. Now, if she was cussing out and all that, that's a different story. But if she was just telling her, no, 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 don't do that. Don't touch the cake. This is Storm's birthday cake. That's what she was supposed to tell her. And if her mama wasn't there, which I'm sure they did not invite Black China to the little girl's birthday party, the daddy should have been watching his daughter to make sure she didn't do it. You know what I mean? So I think people blew that all out of proportion. I was looking at the Shade Room, and Neo and Crystal Smith have finalized their divorce, and she will get 1.6 million. Crystal accused him of being a narcissist and possible infidelity. They share 3 children, 1 girl and 2 boys, and they got married in 2016. They had a renewal in April of 2022. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what she got. She going to get $200 a month. She going to get $20,000 for moving expenses. She going to get $150,000 for future transportation. And she was awarded one of their Georgia homes. Both agreed to keep all romantic partners away from the kids unless they were engaged, married, or they get permission from the other parent to have the new relationship person around the kids. So what do you think about that settlement? She's going to get $1.6 million, one of the 4 homes they own. She's going to get $150,000 for future transportation. She's going to get $20,000 in moving expenses, and 1.6. What did I say? 1.6 million dollars, and she's going to get $12,000 a month in child support and spousal support. Somebody say that's too much money. So why would you say that's too much money? It's her, 3 children. So why do you say that's too much money, Mark? Money aside, I think it went over all the issues and details people are concerned with. Yeah. If she's living in a home that he's going to continue to live in, because they had 4, she got 1. So if the house that she was granted is not the one that they were currently living in, now she has to completely uproot her 3 children and move. So that's why they're giving her $20,000 moving expenses. I don't know what kind of car she have. They're going to give her $150,000 for future transportation. The world about to end, so it don't matter. Oh, damn. It's probably not too much money. It's probably on par to what she was already used to having access to while she was married to a multimillionaire. If she and her children were already accustomed to that lifestyle based on his income, that's what she's going to be getting every single month. So it's on par. Just think about some guy who makes $50,000 and he got to get a lady $300 a month child support. Same difference, just different income brackets. Sounds like they really discussed it and are fine with it. Oh yeah, I'm sure they discussed it, because if the judge signed off on it, both lawyers and both parties had to be in agreement with it. So I'm quite sure they worked it all out. I'm going to give you a little Black History tidbit and we're going to rock on out of here. Black History. For the last couple of days that I've been going live on TikTok, I talk about all of my different topics, but I do try to give you a little Black History fact. 1954, Barbara Jordan was the leader of the all-black Texas Southern Union debate team. And they stunned and beat the Harvard debate team in 1954. Barbara Jordan was born in Houston in 1936. She graduated from Phyllis Wheatley High School in 1952. She earned a bachelor's degree from TSU and later a law degree from Boston University in 1959. In 1966, she ran for Texas Senate and won. She was not welcomed with open arms on the Senate floor, however. After serving in many capacities and proving, no, After serving in many capacities, she earned the reputation for pushing through bills. Her peers voted her in as president pro tempore of the Texas Senate. Barbara Jordan was the first African American woman in the 20th century elected to Congress. Barbara Jordan died in Austin, Texas in 1996 from pneumonia that was complicated by leukemia. So that's your Black History fact about Miss Barbara Jordan, who was from Houston, Texas. If you want to know anything more about Barbara Jordan, there's plenty that you can find on her if you just Google her name, Barbara Jordan. Well, everybody, I thank you who came over to G Butterfly tonight. We had a good time. The chat was popping. Everybody was talking. That's what I like. And I'll see you all tomorrow, possibly at about 7:30, 7:15, 7:45. It's just going to be somewhere in that range. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much for everybody who came over. I appreciate your time. I don't take it for granted. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.